Hello everybody, I'm Storm here. Welcome back to Factorio. In the last episode, we worked on building out a new train refueling station here. That looks like we need to fix something. There we go. We also need to fix this as well. So we got this all set up and should be operating. Well, we are using coal to make coke pellets as our fuel to replace the wood bricks because it's the readily available resource right here. So that's what we're going to do for this refueling stop. So the next thing we kind of have on the list is we have to figure out how to get more acids into our massive kind of processed materials manufacturing facility here that takes all of our raw ores and turns them into, intermediate ingredients that we're going to need for things. And so, we need to work on that. We also need chlorine gas pushed into this facility as well. What we're probably going to want to do is set up a separate facility to make those and train them in, is my current plan. I have to look at where we're going to want to do that. We probably want to extend this rail line out here to where it exits the defensive perimeter. And then we can have some loading bays kind of north and south of that line to unload some materials to then pump into the systems over here. That, I think, is going to be the plan at the moment. So, what I want to be able to do here is make those acids without relying on wastewater. And we'll see if we can do that. So, let's see what our options are. We're going to be doing a lot of planning in this episode. So, probably not a ton of building stuff. But we need to figure it out first. So, let's see. Let's start. We need to get hydrochloric acid, hydrofluoric acid, and nitric acid. I think we're okay for sulfuric acid right now, but those other three are a bit of a problem. So I guess what we'll start with is nitric acid. I don't think there's any other way to produce it other than this. And so we're going to need nitrogen dioxide gas by some means. We can either feed it oxygen gas with nitrogen monoxide gas, or we can take sodium nitrate and some compressed air and turn it into nitrogen monoxide and nitrogen dioxide. See, now I think that this is the process that needs nitric wastewater. Whereas this process, let's see here. We can use a green metal catalyst with ammonia gas to turn it into nitrogen monoxide. Now, we can make ammonia gas in a couple of different ways. We could use a red metal catalyst with nitrogen gas and hydrogen gas. Or we could use puffing, which we haven't set up like any kind of like puffer type of systems yet. Well, that's going to be a whole process. We haven't even researched it yet. I do need to start up farming. But that's probably going to be the new plastic facility that we're going to have to set up. So let's go with blue cellulose fiber and blue algae. And we get blue algae from sulfuric wastewater, which... we could make coke. We could use coke production for sulfuric wastewater. We have coal available. We could do that. And we could use the coke byproduct to push into this manufacturing system as well to make sure that it is supplied with sufficient quantities of coke. So this could work. And we're going to need some purified water. Which we could just feed it regular water, making saline water, which we're probably going to actually want. So you know what? Let's do that. Let's have saline water. Because I'm thinking that for our hydrochloric acid... hydrochloric acid from salt. Salt and sulfuric acid produces sodium sulfate and hydrochloric acid. That's probably not going to happen. We do this. Propene. No. Just straight up chlorine gas and hydrogen gas, and our chlorine gas is probably going to come from electrolysis of saline water. That will produce sodium hydroxide as a byproduct. Have to see about that, and then that'll be our saline water. Alright, let's see how much saline water we're going to produce as part of our nitric acid process. We're going to have to bring in some aluminum ore and some silver ore. We can do that. That won't be a problem. Alright, so let's make sure that everything is set up to the right tier of facility that we have. We have 4s of all of these. We have selling machine 5s. Algae farm 4s. Can I make algae farm 4s? I can make algae farm 4s. Am I making algae farm 4s? I don't think I'm making algae farm 4s. Probably going to want to make algae farm 4s. Hydro plant 3s. Alright. What I would like to be able to produce, let's see how realistic this looks, is 1,000 per second nitric acid. 13 chemical plants, 13 chemical plants, 5 chemical plants, 39 liquefiers. Okay. 96 per second blue cellulose fiber, 192 per second blue algae. Starting to wonder if I should make my blue belts and inserters next tier of belts and inserters first. We'll be producing 296 per second saline water. We need 2200 per second regular water. Okay, the catalysts are not a problem. 1200 per second, 2000 per second nitrogen dioxide gas. Okay. We're obviously going to need some oxygen. Air separation. $41 air filters. Okay. That's what we've, is what we've got. Okay. Alright, so we're producing as a byproduct here a 19.2 per second coke. Yep, that's good. 296 per second saline water. So for our hydrochloric acid, I also want to be able to produce 1,000 hydrochloric acid per second. What level of electrolyzer do I have? 4. 20 electrolyzers. 2,500 saline water per second. Okay. Like, we're not even going to make a dent. But we can route that byproduct into the inputs of this. Okay. That's fine. But we're going to have I need purified water here as well. So that's going to make 12,500 per second purified water. No. No. Salinization plant 2s. Probably gonna need to manufacture those. 16 salinization plant 2s. That's not terrible. So then if we do this water purification, that's much more reasonable. We're going to need access to a rather sizable source of water. All right, so that could be done. All right, and our 200 per second byproduct can also be routed into here. So in actuality, what we really need is... So we do 14 of that, 14 of that, 23 of this. What we really actually need is going to be more like... almost 300 byproducts. 230 byproducts, so we're looking at like 500. Let's just figure we're going to be knocking 500 off of this. So... 17... What was that? That was 18... 80... We need to get down to like 2,300, 2,380. So if we go down to 15, 2,400, 14, 2,240. Okay. Okay. We're at 43.8 saline water, but we're going to get some from the nitric acid production. Okay. Yes. This works. This works. All right. And then we're going to need to figure out hydrofluoric acid. All right. Fluoride ore and sulfuric acid. I can make hydrofluoric acid from a hydrogen fluoride gas. This one I think is going to be the hardest. This one is going to be the hardest. Green metal catalyst with acid gas. Yeah, this is... It's gonna be... Fluoride ore, sulfuric acid, calcium sulfate, hydrofluoric acid. Let's just see here. Fluoric wastewater. Another way is by using mineral sludge to get fluorite. We're making green metal catalysts, right? Yeah, we're making green metal catalysts. So using a green metal catalytic process is not necessarily the worst option. Question then becomes, where do I get acid gas? We use lime filters for one. We can get acid gas from raw gas. We get acid gas from puffing. Gaseous puffer breeding, and we need beans. Gaseous puffers, nutrient pulp, artificial puffer atmosphere, and it can produce various puffer eggs. We might need to work on this. We're gonna have to get it unlocked. Rancid waste puffing. This produces raw gas. Interesting. Alright, yeah, we're gonna have to start doing puffer breeding, I think, is the only real feasible option. Is to start doing puffer breeding to be able to make this hydrogen fluoride. Like, there's a problem though. There's a problem right there. If we put high tier speed modules on there, it still doesn't get us anywhere close to anything that would be considered reasonable. Holy cow, that just consumes a ton. Okay. That's not gonna work. That just is not gonna be feasible to do. I mean, I would do want to do puffing, like doing the puffer stuff, doing the farming stuff, but like not anywhere near that kind of scale. This is really the only option. If we're going to do this with fluoric wastewater, then we can just use the existing system and just find a way to feed it more fluoric wastewater. Like, what are our options? Advanced uranium fuel reprocessing. We feed it hydrofluoric acid and it gives us fluoric wastewater afterwards. That doesn't help me at all. I think we might be stuck on hydrofluoric. Now here's a question. What is our Givolite processing doing with its hydrofluoric wastewater? By chance? Clarifying it. We don't want to do that. No, it's pumping it. Over here. Okay, no. We do have a train set up to push it. What's the issue over here? Sulfuric acid. It has everything it needs. Item ingredient shortage. Of what kind? Hold on a minute. Hold on a minute. Yeah, there really isn't anything we can do with hydrofluoric acid. That's just unfortunate. That we need it for this production. Actually, is there a better way to make hydrogen fluoride gas than by converting it from hydrofluoric acid? I was just looking at that, wasn't I? The only other option is to catalyze acid gas, which we run into the same problem. The only really reliable way we have of getting acid gas in any kind of reasonable amounts is by taking raw gas. Now, raw gas, we could do that. It also produces some acid gas. Those numbers are even worse. They would need over 3,700 puffer refugiums. No, that's not happening. Okay, well, let's go figure out what's going on over here. We can at the very least get nitric acid and hydrochloric acid built in a way that can do this, but it's hydrofluoric acid that is a problem, and it's a problem because the only reliable way to get it is with fluoric wastewater, and the number of ways that we have to make fluoric wastewater are limited without going into puffer breeding, which is stupid. Like, just the numbers are ridiculous to create the amount that I would need. I mean, 1,000 per second is a lot. But even still, if I reduce that to 100 per second, it would still be a crazy amount. Not a crazy amount, but it would still be pretty significant. And 100 per second fluoric wastewater is, I don't think, really going to help me all that much. So we also need to figure out chlorine gas. Are any of these producing that as a byproduct by any chance? No. No. Okay, what is going on with you guys? Oh, it needs Jivolite crystals. Okay, then why are we not getting Jivolite crystals? Okay. Because we don't have any hydrofluoric acid. The only fluoric wastewater that we're getting right now is from a Jivolite mine, essentially. Processing beta or processing alpha. Oh, there it is. This is making fluoric wastewater because this is not actually using the fluoric wastewater. Yep, and oh, we're producing tons of acid gas. Is there a better technology that I can get to have better acid gas? Not really. Okay. Well, I think the first thing that we're going to need to do all of this is we're going to need algae farms being manufactured. We're probably also going to want air filters being manufactured. We are going to want salinization plants being manufactured, I think. All right. If I could take tons of sulfuric acid, I can make an entire sulfuric acid dedicated facility. I'm still thinking about this. Use it to dissolve crushed stone and slag and crystallize out fluoride ore. Still would not get anywhere, nothing really that fast. And where am I? What am I doing? Over here. And then use the sulfuric acid to dissolve the fluoride ore to make the hydrofluoric acid. One more thing. Let's just explore it. Let's just explore it. Again, this is what this episode is, as I said. So we do this fluoride ore. We do fluoride ore from crystallization. We'll produce some uranium, which we could always use uranium. We would need mineral sludge, which would come from probably processing. We could process thermal water. Is thermal water an infinite resource? No, it is not an infinite resource. We have a lot of it, sure, but it's not an infinite resource. It would need to be an infinite resource. So, ceramic filters with slag slurry. We would need slag slurry, which we would do from dissolving, let's say, crushed stone. And then we would need sulfuric acid being produced, which we would need sulfur dioxide gas, calcium sulfate, water, produces lime. Producing calcium sulfate as a byproduct. Interesting. I'm not sure how much we would actually be able to use. We would need some purified water, obviously. They produce some more saline water. Alright, and let's say that I wanted, again, to produce 1,000 per second on this. And I don't know if you can read those numbers, but they're pretty stupid. Like, even if I went down to, say, 100 per second, I would need 160 crystallizer 3s, 58 filtration units to do that. I would need to produce 1,250 per second crushed stone. Like, I would be lucky to be able to produce 1 per second. Or maybe 10 per second. Hydrofluoric acid by this method. 125 per second crushed stone. And that's not going to make a dent. Nope. The only means is by wastewater. That's the only option we have. Alright. Well, so be it. Alright. So, air filters. I think we're making ones. Let's see. We are making 2s. Okay, so we just need to upgrade them to 3s. Which is done via aluminum, concrete, circuit boards, brass pipe. That's easy enough. Let's actually start something manufacturing. Oh, that's the wrong side of things. Actually, no, let's put those here. And then here we'll have our requester chests. Requesting the 2s, as many as we can get. Pick up. And then we'll output that there. And we have 76 on the way. All right, but I think we'll go ahead and end this episode here. And we'll work on getting all this stuff manufactured when we come back. And we'll work on laying out the new acid facility. Oh, and we also need to figure out chlorine gas. That's another thing that we have to figure out. And any source of fluoric wastewater we can figure out, we're going to need to push into here. It's caloric wastewater. Caloric wastewater. I have nothing. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to add a wait condition on time passed for 300 seconds. If you're sitting there for 5 minutes, just go. Same thing for this one. $300 seconds. Okay, we will go ahead and end the episode here. So for now, we'll stop here. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Thanks for watching. Go ahead, like, subscribe, and comment, and I will see you next time.